BBC Radio Northampton with Helen Blaby. It's 1:20. Do you need to be rich to be happy is the other question I'm asking you today. 90% of children surveyed by the Children's Commissioner said they thought they needed money in order to achieve their dreams. But do they? Gary Foster is a Thrive consultant with the Northants Hypnosis Clinic and joins me in the studio. Hello, thank you for coming in.
My pleasure, Helen.
First of all, what on earth is a Thrive consultant?
A Thrive consultant is someone that can actually show people how this belief that money creates happiness is actually untrue. Richard Wilkins, I know him very well, did say it very well with regards to his wealth. It didn't make him happy, but that's not to say that money can't buy things that initially people would feel happy to have. So the key to look at as a Thrive consultant is looking at 3 key belief areas of someone on how they feel at the moment and how they can change that so that they can be happy within inside themselves regardless of whether they have money or not. So the first level we look at is their self-esteem.
Okay.
How do they feel about themselves? The second part is social anxiety. How do they feel about the way others think about them?
Okay.
And the third part is, do they feel in control with their life or out of control? So, for example, a lot of people slip into the blame culture. So they'll say, oh, when I win the lottery, I'll feel happy. Well, that's outside. That's external. And what you'll tend to find is a little bit like when someone buys a new car. They get very excited, they anticipate excited. You may have had that feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like a new car.
It's nice. But how long did that liking last for?
Yes, not long.
You know, when the car gets dirty, needs a wash, needs a service. So it tends
When it stops smelling like a new car.
You can actually buy sprays for that, you know. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I don't sell them. But yeah, you see, that smell, that olfactory experience stimulates the feelings of the newness of it all, doesn't it? So what a Thrive consultant does, or what I do anyway, is look at people's belief systems, explain to them that there's nothing wrong in their lives, but there might be badly managed thinking, creating the feelings that they have, thinking that the outside world, i.e. more money, will make them feel happy. Now, you have to look at what is portrayed in the media and portrayed on the TV, that a lot of the times, you know, it's all about the outside, isn't it? You know, like, for example, programmes on the TV where when someone wins, they win a lot of money. And that can sometimes give a perception that will give people their happiness, as opposed to feeling happy inside and maybe striving and working for that.
It's interesting you say about self-image and self-worth and self-esteem.
Yes.
Because money can buy that, can't it? Or is that just a front?
That's a total front. Why would you need money to buy self-esteem? Self-esteem is how you feel inside about you. And in fact, it's been proven now that it takes about 10 days to 2 weeks to completely change and boost your self-esteem by doing a very simple exercise, which I share with everyone.
Which is?
To think of maybe 4 or 5 moments in your life when you felt good, either doing something for someone else or someone was doing something for you, and immerse yourself in that experience, regardless of the outcome, and then to seek the insight from that. So, for example, you know, I get people to list a list of 10, and they practice that 3 or 4 times a day. Now, that seems a very simple exercise, doesn't it? It's so simple, most people won't do it. However, the students I work with, and we don't call them clients when I'm working with people, if someone's a student, they take responsibility. Okay, the students that I've been working with, within a short period of time, Helen, have been noticing, seriously, physical changes. So, for example, people suffering from panic attacks or anxiety or IBS are seeing a decrease in those symptoms over a 2 or 3 week period. They're feeling a whole lot better inside. And I don't know about you, but if you can remember a time when you felt really good about something.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And if you immerse yourself, let's say you did it just for 10, 20 seconds. I know you can't do it now because we're live on air.
Well,
but
I can immerse myself for
brilliant.
10 seconds. Okay.
So go for it. Think of a time. You don't have to tell me what it was.
Okay.
And as you immerse yourself in it, how does that feel?
Well, it makes me feel good.
Thank you. It makes me feel good. You've just done that. I haven't done it. We haven't brought in a big load of money and said, there you are, Helen. There's your self-esteem cash. Yeah?
Yeah.
In fact, when you smell cash, it smells pretty dirty, doesn't it? It's paper. It's been through a lot of hands. Yeah? So at the end of the day, you made yourself feel good. And that's the premise I work from when I'm working with people, that they will make the change, not me. I will coach them through it.
Yes.
But they'll be responsible for it. And amazingly, when they do become responsible, they make major changes in their lives.
Such as what?
Well, depression, for example. Someone suffering from an experience known as depression will come in, they'll say, I'm depressed, I'm anxious. I'll say, okay, then, what's that like? Because the word depression can mean many things.
Yes.
And we'll explore it. I'll say, okay, then, as they go through the exercises for Thrive, which is looking at their social anxiety, so that is the fear or worry of what others might think about them, so they begin to stretch their comfort zone and feel better about themselves. They do the self-esteem exercise, which is very simple to do. Lo and behold, they don't feel so depressed. They feel better inside.
Yes, I guess it's about the front that you show people, isn't it? It's about being able to stand up and believe that you are...
But you see, that front can be social anxiety.
Can
the
it?
front that you want to show people, why would you want to show a front? Why not feel good inside of yourself? And whatever comes out is going to be the true part of you, rather than the front. The front is what can create anxiety. It can create tension and stress.
Right.
You see a lot of people that will say, oh, fake it till you make it.
Well, that's interesting you say that, because I was talking to somebody about doing this job just the other week, and she said to me, do you put a voice on? And I said, well, why would I? It's exhausting. Yes. And actually, being somebody else, yes, pretending to be somebody, is absolutely exhausting,
totally,
isn't it?
Yeah. And how many people in our lives do we get to meet that they really don't say how they really feel? They really don't talk about the things that really matter. They hold it back. Or they might say things because they think that's the right thing to say. Now, that's not to say, that I expect people to be very rude or horrible in what they say. But often we hold back how we really feel, and that gets trapped inside the mind and the body as physical experiences.
But surely sometimes being forthcoming with how you feel can be a bad thing, can't it?
Really? Who says that?
Well, you don't want to upset people.
Why not?
Don't look at me like that.
Now, the reason why people might say, oh, I don't want to upset people, that's linked to their social anxiety. Now, I'm not saying go and upset people. However, if you have that belief, if I tell them the truth, I might upset them, surely that's going to hold back from really saying how you really feel and feeling good for you. There's a thing that I've classified called positive selfishness.
Right.
Okay. Bit of a stretch, but most people just aren't as kind and compassionate about themselves as they are for other people. They talk to their friends far better than they talk to themselves, yeah? And so I encourage every student who works with me to begin to look at that. I know personally it makes a massive difference when you start really sort of looking at yourself and thinking, well, yeah, I'm a good person. I'm okay.
Okay, so happiness starts with being happy with yourself.
Yes. Yeah, nothing can buy the happiness. I mean, it's a con to say money or things buy happiness. They don't. Happiness is an internal feeling you and I will feel, and we'll both feel it in different ways. We'll have our interpretation, definitely. I was delighted to hear, seriously, Richard Wilkins on that sort of sound bite, because many years ago I ran a group where I would bring people in and I'd bring speakers in, and Richard was one of the speakers that came in. I remember having a personal chat with him about the happiness, and I think he has a page that says, I'm there. Yeah, because he met people saying, one day I'll get there. Well, where's one day?
Where's there? And where is there?
So there's now, where you are sitting in that chair right now, Helen, as it is for me right now. Now, that's not to say that we're not going to have challenges in our lives and people that we have to deal with and maybe situations that might seem insurmountable. But happiness can begin, not all fluffy, spiritual sort of type. It just begins by beginning to like yourself, by beginning maybe to stretch the social anxiety away from being so high and lowering it. And there's been scientific proof now that the more we donate our time maybe to other causes or for voluntary work, for example, can make a massive difference on how you feel inside. In fact, there was a case recently, I think, with a group of old age pensioners where they were asked to look after a plant. This was the experiment, and they split the group in half. The group that looked after the plant lived longer than the group that didn't.
Because they had a sense of purpose?
Sense of purpose. It built that internal control, and they felt good inside of doing something more than for themselves. Now, a lot of people aren't in that situation where it's all about them and feeling sorry for themselves, and often, it depends on their personality, they might wallow and brood about things rather than really just getting some real perspective on what's really going on and then moving on.
Gary, it's been fascinating talking to you. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thanks for inviting me in. Thank
Gary
you.
Foster, who's a Thrive consultant with the Northants Hypnosis Clinic.
Northamptonshire Sport. It's a FA Cup special this weekend.